I'm Tamima and this is a Real Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We are celebrating the relationship that is the mother-daughter relationship. I have with me in studio mothers and daughters, and they'll be sharing with us the highs and the lows of this relationship that came out of the bond of creation, but sometimes can be quite complicated. Hello and welcome to the show. Tonight's topic, we are getting deep into the mother-daughter relationship. My first guest tonight, I have Alice Mbegu, who is 52 years old, and her daughter, Masika Munto, who is 33 years old. They'll be sharing with us about their lifelong relationship for Marcy and how sometimes it takes a lot of wisdom to navigate the mother-daughter relationship. Okay, welcome to the show, guys. Looking lovely.
Thank you very much.
Clearly, munafanana. So let me start with the daughter, yes? So Kaminto, maybe just tell us, growing up, what was your relationship like with mom?
I think it was a lot of fun. I grew up with boys, surrounded by boys, so she was the only lady around me. And I looked up to her, yeah.
And for you, what was it like raising a daughter?
I tried as much as possible to raise her in church, show her that she was my best friend and is still my best friend. I had to be at her level. I remember we used to do a lot of stuff together. If it was swimming, I would take her swimming with the boys. If it was singing, because she sings, I would make sure that I was in the concerts, watching her and praying with her a lot, reading the Word of God with her. So I can say that it has been an awesome experience being with Mercy.
So, as a mother, looking at her, you must be super proud of her and all she's been able to achieve. As a young woman in her career as well, probably your teaching experience helped there, didn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Teaching is a calling. And I think being a first child, I started knowing about children, how to take care of them and how to love them, how to be patient with them when I was still very young. At 10, I was already a young mother. So by the time I got my daughter at 19, I was very ready for her. And I thank God because there was so much that I was able to teach her, I was able to impact in her. So it was not a hard thing.
What would you say as a daughter, perhaps growing up, was a bit challenging when it came now to being parented?
As I said, I grew up around boys. I was more of a tomboy when I was younger. And so it was a bit difficult to relate with my mother. Now that I have my own child, I can look back and every time I'm relating with my son, I see what she went through, what she had to sacrifice, and I think I learned so much from who she is as a person for us, the family, and also people out there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel?
Well, I give glory to God. It is not because of my strength, of my power. It's because of I'm a born-again Christian, and I believe that when God gives you a responsibility, a duty, you fulfill it. And I not only take care of my children, including Mercy, but I mentor many others. Yeah. So
often than not, mothers don't know how to talk to their daughters.
True.
And we are having a situation where there's a battle of generations because mom comes from a different generation. She wants to do things a certain way. And you have this child who is growing up in a very different world. How were you able to navigate that as a parent?
Okay, one important fact is that children are individuals and they are made in the image of God just like everyone else. And we are supposed to treat them as individuals. With the current generation, there's so much going on, but still, I think the parents need to understand that the children are theirs. They have to own the children. I owned my children, and I made sure nobody else raised my child.
there are certain rites of passage that every young woman has to go through. So when it comes to now talking to your daughter around things like maybe her body image, and she said she was a tomboy growing up, and today looking at her, she seems very ladylike. So obviously at some point, there was a transition that had to have happened.
Yes.
Talking to her about things like boys, men, talking to her about things like career, how to balance it all. So how were you able to have those hard conversations?
Okay, first of all, I took my children and Mercy as my friend. And I think it's very, very important to hit the nail on the head. If a child asks you a question like, where do children come from? How do you get babies, mom? I normally tell the truth, although it depends on the age bracket that the child is in. And I know how to go about it because, you know, as a teacher, I've always known how to answer questions. As the child grows, there are so many questions that will come up, and this child is searching. The child wants to discover. The child wants to experiment. So as a parent, I had to go to the level of my daughter and talk to her about those things. Okay, I was very busy, but I balanced. I made sure I gave quality time to my children. If it is about playing football, I would roll on the grass with my children. If it's about swimming, I would go with them swimming. If it's about having fun, I would do that.
And so if I had to ask you, Kemunto, if you had to look back at your childhood, perhaps even growing up, either as a teenager or as a young woman, and recall one of those hard conversations you had with mom, how did that go?
She always gave us room to express ourselves, and so we would go back and forth until you finally realize she has a point. So I think one of the hardest things was for me to change into a lady, as you said. It was difficult because it was what I knew, it was all I knew. But looking at her, she looked so lovely, and everybody would comment about how lovely my mom looks. And when I got to that age where, especially when I got my son, I felt like I need to be a mom. And in my eyes, a mom looked like her. So
a mom looked like you? Mom.
Yes.
You didn't quite feel like you measured up.
Yes. Yeah, you know, you want your son to be proud when you go to school, and because kids talk, and you want him to be proud and say, hey, that's my mom.
Yeah. The root cause of a lot of the bad decisions that young women end up making usually stem from a lack of confidence. So as a mother, speaking to other mothers and the daughters in these rooms, how do we teach our young girls to be confident?
Thank you for that question. I think it's a very, very important question because many young people are struggling with self-image, the self-confidence, self-esteem. And I think the most important thing is to tell the child that he or she is fearfully and wonderfully made, okay? And that comes from the Word of God. And that the child should not struggle to look better than another, to depict another child's image, but just to be comfortable with her own self. And then be patient. Be patient with the child. Don't push her to the wall to change, to be a different person. Try as much as possible to show her how it can happen, and gradually there'll be change. Because for Mercy, she was a tomboy, and there are times when she would just wear her hat, put on her sneakers and jeans, and her hair just braided, and carrying her guitar to the music school. And I would ask her, Mom, why don't you dress, smartly, put on some makeup and look girlish? And she'd tell me, Mommy, I think I'm okay this way. And I would appreciate that. But there are times I would just take her to the mirror and say, just let me put a little bit of lipstick on you. Let me apply a little bit of lipstick, dress this way, put on this dress and see how it looks. And I would share with her my clothes, maybe my makeup, and then maybe make her hair look different. And she would appreciate herself that way. Now that she's a mother, she really has surprised me because she's so elegant. The other day, she lives in Uganda, and she does filming also, and I saw her in the Ugandan newspaper. She sent the clip to me and she was like, "Mom, can you guess who your daughter is amongst these Ugandan ladies?" And I stared and I could not even recognize my own daughter. She was looking glamorous, very glamorous. Yes, so there's need for patience, there's need for love, there's need for understanding. Give somebody room to experiment and see how she can do it, but don't push her. And another thing, know your children's friends. I used to house my children's friends. I allow them to bring their friends home, and I would welcome them home, cook for them, have time together. So I think it is also important for you to understand the child's life, know the friends, mix with those friends so that you'll know the traits from the friends they make.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Remember, you can join the conversation via the hashtag #RealTalkWithTamima. Let me know, what is your relationship with your mother like? Are you a mother? What is your relationship with your daughter like? Do you have questions on tonight's topic? Go on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook as well. Let us know what your views, comments, and feedback on tonight's topic are. But right now, we have to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Our conversation on tonight's topic continues. My next guest is Purity Kinywa, 47. Purity is a teacher, she's an actress, and she's also a talent developer. And she's here tonight with her daughter, Makena, 25, who is a musician. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so maybe tell us, what's unique about your mother-daughter relationship? Let me start with Mom.
My daughter is my friend. She is my confidant. We share a lot. And we're really tight. Let me just say that we are really tight. I understand a lot about her that most people don't understand. And I thank God for it. And both of us are born again. And we share a lot. We share church, we share talents, we share a house. She's still living with me. And let me say that she's really a lovely girl.
Well, lovely girl. Tell us, what is unique about your relationship with your mom?
That we're tight. Yeah, that we're friends. So some of my friends tell me that our relationship is one to emulate because they don't have a good relationship with their parents or with their mom for the purposes of this conversation. So I don't take it for granted. I don't think it's automatic. I love that my mom comes down to our level and she's old and young at the same time. She's mom and our friend at the same time. So I think that's unique.
Purity, you can tell us, how do you strike that balance of being mom and friend at the same time?
One of the ways I've been able to hack that is for them to know where I am at every particular place. And I let them into my life. I'm reachable, we talk a lot, and they know what is happening in my life. Sometimes I'm forced to be absent. For example, when I go to the adjudicating drama festival, I was away for about 3 weeks, and they took care of the house. I'm also a deputy principal, so sometimes they have to take charge. I have taught them to be in charge. They run the house. If there was a decision to be made and I'm away, I am confident that my daughters would make that decision that I would have made. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So in this context of being both mom and friend,
yes.
How are you handling discipline, especially when they were younger?
I am a disciplinarian. I am stern. I like things done in a certain way. And let me just say, there are times I sit them down and I tell them, girls, thank you. You didn't put me through this, the things I see children putting parents through. And let me say, growing up, there is nothing really out of this world that they ever did.
From that, I can clearly get that for you, basically you were able to set the boundaries when they were very young.
Yes.
And fortunately enough, they were able to operate within the boundaries.
Yes.
So you never had any drastic discipline issues with any of your children?
The elder sister, her elder sister, had just a bit of teenage problems, and I didn't understand that the elder sister is okay just by herself. She's peaceful. She's a peaceful girl. So we want to drag her everywhere with us. I took time and realized that she has a different personality from us. Even her, even though she's talkative, she's a little different from me. But I learned to treat them differently.
As individuals?
As individuals.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put the two of them in one basket and treat them the same. And that's how, through the years, we are best of friends. You should find us sometimes in the house. We play, we laugh, we watch movies, and sometimes we even take tea seated on the carpet, and we share stories. And indeed, I feel really blessed as a mother.
So your mom says that the one thing she actually wishes for you is that you should be more spontaneous. Oh, you accept that? You agree? Why do you think that is?
It's a difference in our personalities that we have had to understand with time. As she said, I'm very friendly, very warm, very welcoming, but people confuse that for being outgoing and being with it and being the life of the party. But most of the time that is not the case. After spending time with people, most times I need time to recharge. And also being a musician, being a creative, I really like having my time alone and being structured, and it's also a function of personality. I'm very reserved. So my mom is very spontaneous, she's full of life. Being a teacher as well and working with young people, oh my God, she's very energetic. And like this morning, we were having a conversation and I was telling her, Mom, I'm very serious. And she was telling me, I like taking life easy. And she was saying it's interesting how it's the mom that is more free and the daughter is reserved. So that's why she thinks I need to be more spontaneous, and I like the role she plays in my life. Some of the friends I have in my life push me to have a more interesting life. So yeah.
So obviously, as a young woman, you've mentioned that you're a musician as well. So you're up and coming within the music world as well. So maybe just tell us, when you were younger, how were you able to have the hard conversations with your mom? Conversations around things like boys, for instance. How did that conversation go?
My upbringing was very guarded. We grew up in, my mom was a teacher, still is. We grew up in a school compound, so it was very guarded. It was in the rural area. The school is a national school, but in the rural area, so I wasn't very exposed when I was young. So I went to a girls' school in primary school. I didn't have that many questions to ask, but we've had conversations. She has initiated some of them. I remember I received my first love letter in class 7, and
Mom remembers as well. Yes, I remember. Did she show it to you, or did you bump into it?
She talked to me about it. One time I even had coffee with one of her admirers, and when they were teenagers. And
he was sweating.
when I told them, come, I buy you tea, let's have tea. And we had tea, and later she was telling me, the boy was shaking. Why would your mother ask me to have tea with her? And we sat down. I told them, you see, I appreciate that you're saying you love my daughter, and you are welcome to our home as McKenna's friend. But I know that as you grow, two things are likely to happen. You might just grow apart, and there is always time for everything. If you really love my daughter, you will wait for her to finish high school, to finish university, and
And that was that. I want to put it to my audience because here we are with McKenna and her mom, and they're openly talking about how she got a love letter. Who can share with us what their mother's reaction would be if your mother came across a love letter? So, Maria, tell us.
Firstly, my mom didn't teach me such. So I used to be like a don't care child. And my mom, if she found such letter, firstly she'll tear it and then throw it into fire. Alafu niambie, sasa ndio hiyo chali yako, go and pick her. Go and pick him up. And then I'll be like, no, mommy, don't understand me, because there is a time when I was in high school, she did the same. I used to have a box, a set of letters. So one day I went to my aunt. When I came back, I found her frowned. She took the box and threw it into fire. She beat me up and told me I won't eat for the whole week. So I'm really wondering, where was God when she was creating my mom? You're really a lovely parent to McKenna. People like us have never been taught such. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Mary. We also have some true sentiments.
My name is Marin. McKenna, I envy your mom. Kai, ungegrow na mama yangu. Why? So I didn't grow up with my mom that much. I lived in the street. Yeah, mimi nimegrow kwa street. So street imenihadden. But when I tried to build that relationship with my mom, ilianza high school. Yeah, I was a tomboy too until I became a model and became girlish. So my mom, one time I remember I got a letter from my crush, and since I was so used to the boys, sasa nikashindwa sasa wanaume. Let me go ask my mom. It took me a lot of courage kumwambia mom, nimeandikiwa barua na kijana. Ati hebu isome. Okay, but then I thought tutakuwa friends. So I went and took the letter, nikamsomea, ikaandikwa, oh, Maren, you look so beautiful, the way you are tall, you are sweet. Mungu akaniambia, umemaliza? Letter, and I gave her, and she was like, ndio kitu nalipia school fees. So you can imagine, and trust me, from there I got letters and letters and letters. Yeah, so to a point, yeah, I had a boyfriend. Asa unaweza imagine kama nilikuwa nishaambiwa, that's what I pay school fees for. Imagine the day the boyfriend wanted to come to my place. Ilikuwa chaos.
I'm happy and blessed. I have both parents. I'm close with my mom, so close. We talk a lot. I tell her most of my relationships, what I go through in the daily basis. Naweza sema tunakuanga close sana na mom kushinda hao wengine. My sisters are not talkative, especially the one in Form 2. She's a tomboy. And there's a time I was in high school, Form 3. My first letter, that was my first letter. I guess nakuanga nayo hadi wa leo. And then there's a time I came, nikapata hiyo letter yuko place ilikuwa. And then now, my mom talked about that kaboy. Nikashindwa alijua aje. How alijua aje. Then from that time, mi nikakuwa too open. I don't hide anything from her. I have a boyfriend, I tell her. We break up, I tell her. Basically, naweza sema tu, I'm blessed to have a mom, and I'm proud of her. I learn so much from her, and grow up, nikipata watoto wangu nataka kuwa kama yeye, and I will try. I will do my best to be a great mom, to be open to my children. Nisikuwe mkali sana, but nitawapea discipline vizuri. Yeah.
Thank you. Remember, you can join the conversation via the hashtag #RealTalkWithTamima on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Share with us, how was your relationship with your mom growing up? How is your relationship with your daughter? Do you want to big up your mom? Is there a lesson that you want to share that perhaps could help somebody out there in this parenting journey or in this journey of being a daughter? Write to us here on Real Talk tonight. But right now, we have to go on a very quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Real Talk. Now we continue our conversation on tonight's topic, celebrating the mother-daughter relationship. Right now I want to introduce my next guest. I have with me Seraphine Mukami and her two daughters, Charlene and Shanice. So the names had to rhyme, huh? Charlene is 20 and Shanice is 18.
Yes.
So maybe just walk us through first, because clearly it's safe to say that they're both adolescent. They're still teenagers.
Young adults.
Umeponea tu na mwaka moja. So what was it like actually having two teen daughters?
My husband and I got them when we were very young, so we've grown up with them. And parenting for us has been a learning experience. It's been changing over time. I had to keep learning along the way how to bring them up. So I can't say it's been really rocky. Like you said, I would still say we are on that period between 13 and 20. So I'm still on that journey. Though it's about to get to the end, and I'm very confident where we are at right now, it's going to turn out all right with them.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe let me start with Charlene. What's unique about your relationship with your mom?
So my relationship with my mom has grown as I got older. When I was younger, I think I used to fear her to some extent because I hadn't opened up so much as I have right now. And I think over the years, she's an amazing person. I got to want to know her more than just being a mom, more like a friend. So beyond her being my mom, she's my very, very close friend.
Okay. So Shanice, what's unique about your relationship with mom?
She's like a mentor to me. She has taught me very many things, all spheres of life, on my spiritual matters, on academic matters, and on how I relate with people. Also in my how to build my self-image, how to be confident, because I'm not really a talkative person. I'm quite an introvert, but through her, she's telling me, go present, go share. And also in my academics, she has worked with me. She has disciplined me a lot, especially that part, of which I'm so thankful.
Your mother is a stickler for time. Mama akisema, Charlene, by some be in that house, she means 8. So, but for you, you're like, you wish she could let go a bit on that curfew. Maybe mom explain, why are you so strict on the curfew?
When I start getting uncomfortable that my daughter is out there, it's already dark, and what couldn't she do during the day that she has to do at night? But we had a conversation about it with her, and I can actually see where she's coming from, in as much as it won't change anything. But I can see.
I like your honesty.
I can see where it's coming from, because we've hosted a party for her friends, with her and her friends, and we left the house for them just to have their party and all. We came back at 8, and they were not in a hurry to leave. It went up to 9. I had to tell the head of the house, now we have young kids here. The parents haven't started even calling to find out where the kids are. Just we have to kind of find a way of telling them it's time to go. So that when she came, it's about a month ago, and she had to go to a birthday party. And our time is 7:30, 8. It's starting to get late, and our conversations are not very pleasant after 8 o'clock. So she told me, but mom, you see, when it's after 8, that's when the party starts. That's when the party starts. And I can understand from that point of view, but why does the party have to start after 8? I cannot sit here and say I'm a perfect parent, so I can't even judge any parent out there. But why? What about these kids who are with her? What time do they get home? What time are they supposed to get home?
So she's 20.
Yes.
So is she in university?
Yes.
So she goes to school but comes back home.
Yes.
So is there a reason why you chose that she has to live in the house, not live on campus?
Getting room on campus was very difficult at the time. And is there any? I didn't find a reason why she can live in Ngara when she can live at home. We live along Jogoro, which is not very far from town. We haven't had a problem with that. We had agreed when she gets to 3rd year, we can think about her getting her own place for her independence purposes. she's yet to get there, so we will have that conversation when she gets there. Yes.
So what are your views on this?
I used to tell myself there's no difference between me and a chicken. We'll all get into the houses or the chicken's house at 6. So when 6 would reach, I'd always get a call or a missed call. I'd never answered.
So you're intentionally not picking up her call?
So, not always though,
Yeah.
sometimes. And that's because I really would not want to upset her, and sometimes I don't know what to say because it's already past time. I'd talk to her, tell her, can we push at least 6:30? And then she'd be like, okay, we can say 6:30. So I'm hoping as we'll continue pushing. Pole pole. Until to a point where, of course it'll reach a point where she'll be okay because I'm getting older and more responsible. I'll be able to maybe be out there, and she'll in her heart she'll feel like she's okay because I can be able to take care of myself. But I'm actually grateful because I don't know what would have happened to me if I didn't have such rules to follow.
But you recognize that with great freedom comes that responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. So let me go back to my audience. So early on you were asking about how many guys would say that I have a great relationship with my mom. So why do you feel that your relationship with your mom is not great?
Right now it is starting to improve, and each day I'm starting to understand her, and I think she's also understanding me. But when I was growing up, I was a daddy's girl. So we were 3 girls and my small brother, but he came later. So I was so close with the father and my father, and at some point I missed out to spend time with my mother because I just felt she's too girlish, and I was a tomboy, as you've heard some say. Actually, it's when I met her and McKenna that started changing slowly by slowly, but my mom used to be the disciplinarian. That's why I was not that close with her, because she's the quiet perfectionist and I'm the extrovert in the family. So yeah, we didn't understand each other until now that she can say that I'm different from the others. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very close to my dad than my mom. My mom is somebody that when I tell her my secrets, she has to refer them to my father first. And that time, my father is a lion. That's what I can say. And I can be beaten up. No, there's a time I told her, Mom, niko bash. Then she told me, Bash? Nani alikupeleka? And I was like, ni rafiki yangu. So she wanted to know the details. Bash iko wapi? Ivo. So I thought she's okay with it. But some next 2 minutes, she was there. Kwa hiyo bash. Unafanya nini hapa? Yani she caused drama. That my friends were like, Kai, kwani mama yako anakuanga hivi? Sometimes she's understanding, sometimes, but very little.
Let me ask you, how old are you?
Me, 19 years.
19?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you've seen cool moms today.
Yeah.
So let me throw this to the cool moms, so that in their coolness, and you'll be shocked that the same response your mother gave you, the cool moms will give. Let me start maybe with Alice.
I think every mom has fears because we were once young like our children, our girls. And maybe things did not happen the right way. I'll give an example of myself. I got married at the age of 18, and I had eloped. And it wasn't, okay, at first things were good, but later on they didn't turn out well because I did not listen to my mom. There's so much that my mom was trying to help me avoid, but I was not listening. So I think the girls should know that their moms mean well. They mean well, and they want to help them avoid some of the situations that might happen to them and destroy their lives. Before God, we are responsible for our girls, and if anything goes wrong, we are the ones to blame. Not the dad, but the mom.
What about you, Purity?
When a girl goes wayward, the society, the family blames the mother. You have not brought your daughter well. you have not taught her values, and that's why she's going wayward. So we have this phobia that our daughters will meet these people who will destroy their lives. And in any case, in every relationship, the girl is the one who carries the burden. The girl is the one who gets pregnant. The girl is the one who has to drop out of school. And the girl actually takes the brunt of every negative that comes with it. And I would like to tell my daughter, Valeria, the one who has just commented, that the fact that the mom is, let me say, protective doesn't make her an enemy. I think I would like her to understand that she needs to be open with her mother. For sure, my daughter being an artist, she will bear me witness that every time she goes, let's say for a gig, or she's going to record, I know all her producers' numbers, and she tells me if her phone is about, she tells me, Mom, my phone is 3%. If you need to talk to me, call my producer. My phone is full of McKenna this, McKenna producer, then the name, McKenna studio, this name. And I even drop her and pick her. She doesn't mind. So it doesn't make you an enemy of your daughter, and that is where our daughters go wrong. In fact, I have had a daughter calling the mother hen. And because she's all over her, my mother is not giving me space, my mother doesn't love me.
Seraphine is laughing here. Yeah. She's like, I've been called mother hen.
Yeah, they call us mother hen. And I would like them to change from mother hen to super mom. We really take a lot of it from the society if our daughters don't get it right. And I would like our daughters to understand this, that everything in life has consequences. And 18 to 24 or 25 is the make or break of life. If you don't get it right between 18 and 25, you're gone, my friend, because you pay for your mistakes in life. The mistakes you make between 18 and 25, they're the ones that cost the rest of your life.
A lot of you right now might feel like your moms are being too hard on you, but I kid you not, all these parties you want to go to, a time will come, there will be so many parties. In fact, you'll be running away from the parties, like you don't want the invitations to come. I just want to go home, put TV, chill, sleep, eat, and go to bed. Now, I want to introduce my last guest. I have here with me Josephine, who's here with her daughter, Wema, who is 12 years old. She's just entering that preteen age. So obviously, as a mother, you must be walking this journey with her. But at the back of your mind, there are those values you know that now is the time. I must teach her now. So probably just talk to us as a preteen's mother.
So as a preteen mother, I think my concerns are, one is the social media. It's become something that everyone has. And like myself, when I was her age, she has a phone and a smartphone. And that is also a point of concern. I think there is just too much information. One of my priorities is to make sure that she's able to handle quality relationships at whatever level, whether being a friend, and this friend being a male or a female, later on in life being able to make choices, and also being able to handle the challenges that comes with life, whatever those challenges may be. And being also able to just give her that value of godliness without really loading it over. I think when I was growing up, I felt that was almost being loaded over me. And I felt a bit rebellious at some point, because I felt I want to have my own life. Why do I really have to follow this? It's yours, you're the one who believes, until such a time when I came to a personal relationship myself with Jesus Christ. And so that also becomes a priority, that I don't want to load it over. I want her to realize the value and what that can do for her life if she chooses that path. And I would want her to choose that path for herself.
So let's hear from Wema. Wema is a candidate next year, right?
Yes.
So let's hear from you. So when it comes to mom, what's your opinion about your relationship with your mom?
I feel like my relationship with my mom is really strong and it's really good because I can tell her anything and she'll help me if it's a problem. I like the way she approaches my problems because she doesn't start with shouting at me. She starts with understanding me first, or at least trying to understand me first. And then after that, if she has fully understood the situation, if it is wrong, she will explain to me in a correct manner that what I did was wrong. And I find she has a way of making me feel guilty of my mistakes. So I find that my relationship with her is really healthy. And yeah, I love her a lot.
Okay, does anyone have any question or comment very quickly before we wind up?
What is the right age ya kwanza to start talking to your child or your daughter? Because I have a daughter, she's 4, and just last week she found my sanitary towels and she was like, "Mom, hizi ni nini?" And I was like, okay, wow, hizi ni mkate. I don't know. Nilimwambia ni mkate. Then she was like, okay, next week but shule zikifunguliwa unipakie kwa lunchbox. Definitely I'll not pack that nini. I'm having that challenge. At what time am I supposed to start telling my child, okay, Mwanja, huyu ni so.
Okay, I think let's let Josephine take that one.
Okay, I think from my experience, one thing, never lie to your child because she's going to find out some point, and that is where you begin to lose trust. I think for me, when Wema says my mom tells the truth, she knows I tell her the truth. They will grow up and they will know what those things really are, and they will remember the answer you gave them. So it will be difficult for them to come to you with another question. So they will try to find their answers from other sources, which is not very good. You want to be the first one who tells your child everything about life. I think, for example, when the son asked about the sanitary pads, you'd have just said, these are for mommy.
Yes, they are pads and they are for big people.
They are for big people and they are for mommy. Then later on, I mean, even when he comes to find out, he'll understand what that meant.
Absolutely.
So I think telling the truth age appropriately is the best mastery.
Okay. So we had 2 final questions. Let's take those, then we wrap. The lady at the far end.
I wish all moms could be friends to their daughters so that we can avoid cases like depression, because some of us, because I've been there, I didn't get to talk to my mom because I feel like sometimes she will judge me and yell at me. Sometimes I just hope all parents have learned from the mothers here and be the friends to their daughters. Yes.
Final question or comment?
Hi, my name is Saida, and as I was listening, I could notice that the kind of traits that the guests have been having, the daughters, the mothers, they seem like they're more shy, introverted. So it was easy for them, maybe for the moms to like raise them the way they are. Then there's this case of us who are extroverts, who like being wild and fun and happy. So you kama instance ya barua. Your mom finds that barua and she's like, yo ni mimba inakuita. So you're like, excuse me, I don't even know, huyo ni crush, simjui. So how is it that unaniambia ni story, then after that story ni hapo? So you're like, you have so many questions, but your confidence has already been killed. So if you have something that you really want to say, you can't. Because unambo tu a negative answer. Mara, you see, like, they've been explaining how they treat their daughter, and it's just like a fairy tale to you. Because wewe, you try ata ile baby shing, ati you're hugging your mom, and since my mom, she's like, she's like, heri ya urimo. So you're like, okay, why are you even telling me that? So ata chance yako to be free with your mom, to make her a best friend, it's kind of hard. You just see people and you're like, yeah, I wish she was like that. But then you look at behaviors and you're like, if she never treated me like this, I ningepotea. So in the middle, you're like, let me just thank God that she's the way she is.
Okay, I want to throw that on to Purity.
My daughter Daisy, you were just talking about her. very strong-willed, but very few words. And it has been a challenge to me, even as a mother, to reach out to her. Sometimes I use the sister to reach out to her. She sends the sister to me sometimes when she thinks I'll react negatively. And we have this triangle that when she sees that I may react negatively to what she wants, then I think it's usually my duty to reach out to her and understand her, know her interests, and know what she really wants. Otherwise, it would be combative throughout. She is very strong-willed, I agree with you. However, I am also strong-willed in my own way, and if we don't reach a consensus, then that house will be Kosovo. We'll be fighting throughout. So I think parents need to know that there is a reaching out a little, and the children also need to know they should also make an effort to reach out. We need to meet in the middle. You know, I usually tell my daughters, I'm very honest with them. I tell them, in this age, you people have IQ. Your IQ is higher than ours, but we have wisdom. And so let's share. You with your very, very sharp minds, and us with our wisdom, let's strike a balance. And one thing McKenna has taught me, to be a good listener. Sometimes I have not been a good listener. And maybe that is why some of the daughters here are saying that their mothers are not their friends. Once they they set their minds on something, they know they are right. Why are you right? Because I'm mom. You know, that is it. And McKenna has taught me throughout the years because she's very inquisitive. With McKenna, you have to prepare for an answer because one answer grows to another question. Most parents make a mistake and they say that is either rude ama wewe ni kimbelembele. You see, most of the parents say, huyu mtoto ni kimbelembele. Let us as parents and let us as mothers and daughters understand one another. Because it is until, why I said 25, it is until you get your own child that is when you remember your mother. But before you get your own child and you understand, you now start unwinding and saying, oh my God, I did all these things to my mother because I didn't understand. But between that time when you didn't know that, so many things can go wrong. And that's why I'm saying, let us reach out and then let them also reach out to us. And let's share what we have. About social media. Social media should be taken with a pinch of salt. When you are broken up with your boyfriend, you want to run to the social media. When you want a story, you met a boyfriend, you want to run to the social media. Let's take that social media with a pinch of salt. I'd rather you come to me and tell me about your boyfriend than go to the social media and post his photo. Because when you break up, it will be very embarrassing. But I, as your mother, I will cover your nakedness to death. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just want to say something to respond to my sister. I'd hate for us to, come off as being perfect because she mentioned that our stories sound like fairy tales. I've had instances where I was arguing with my mom and I was telling her, hey mom, you need to change. You need to change on this and this and this. Why aren't you like this and this and that? And in the heat of the moment, at times my mom would tell me, I'm X years old, it's too late for me to change. You have to deal with it. Or she'd tell me, hey, all these years you've lived with me, haven't you learned I'm like this and like that? So we have a role as children to understand our parents in their personality, the way they are, understand their context and their background. Some people are harsh because their backgrounds were harsh. It's not that that's what they want to be. So maybe by understanding who they are and adjusting yourself to
who they are, maybe you'll teach them how to be more gentle. And then in the things you can't change, you have a life and you'll have a daughter, and you know what not to do. Yesterday was Family Sunday in our church, and we were told that the key to peace in families is for parents to communicate with love and for children to communicate with respect. Don't be a discontent girl and say, hey, my mom is like this, I wish she was like that. Try to understand her so that you're not discontent with your life, you know. Adjust yourself and try to communicate with respect, and then maybe she will respond.
I hope that helps. Well, I think really on that note, we have to wrap up the show. So just to quote what she has said, parents have to communicate with love. Children have to communicate with understanding and with respect. And really, we know that, like she said, there's no perfect relationship, but there are good relationships. And good relationships take work from both sides. Parents have to recognize that we are living in different times. There's a different culture, there's social media, there's popular culture. So there's a lot that your children are dealing with. There is no bad child, but there is bad parenting. So you're the difference between the type of life that your daughter will end up having. Well, on that note, I want to call it a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, this has been Real Talk, and I'll see you next week.